If you want to win more fights in Fortnite, you need to understand how to fight properly. In this video, I'll share 10 easy-to-implement tips that will definitely help you improve your gameplay, but only if you actually apply them. Watching the video for entertainment won't make you better. You need to take action.
Do you support racism?
Let's get started. For tip number 1 is to set up your fights correctly. Most players rush into fights without any preparation. They see a player and just sprint toward them. Insert running meme here. The key is to set up the fight to your advantage by prioritizing right-hand peeks when both attacking and defending before approaching the enemy. Get some initial damage in to gain an advantage over the enemy, which can help you set the seeds of you winning in every fight. While approaching a box, build 2 boxes for cover and use right-hand peeks to engage safely by diagonal box fighting in this manner. Predict enemy movement. If the enemy tries to disengage, practice pre-piece control or predicting enemies' movements to cut off their escape paths. This takes experience, but after encountering the same scenario 100 times, you'll start anticipating their moves more effectively. Remember, practice doesn't make perfect. It is imperfect practice that is the path to perfection, but no one ever achieves perfection. But tip number 2 is to stop the peanut butter edit spam. I know it's your go-to move, but overusing the top right triangle edit makes you predictable. Even decently skilled players easily read these patterns and punish you for it. Experiment with different edits like window edits, bottom right edits, or even door edits to stay unpredictable. Watch my video on edit variety after this one. Don't you dare forget. Just kidding, kinda. Tip number 3 is to use extended pressure. Too many players rely on their pickaxe for pressure when they should be spraying with their SMG or AR. Extended pressure applies consistent damage, forces mistakes, and increases your odds of winning fights. Pros like Peterbot, Reet, and Clicks use this to overwhelm their opponents. Additionally, you could also bait players into wasting their shots, then capitalize with counterattacks. Here is a clip of Peterbot using this specific technique. Tip number 4 is to become an efficient looter. You might wonder what looting has to do with fighting. In reality, efficient looting impacts your fight success significantly. Early fights. The sooner you're looted, the faster you can claim advantageous positions in a fight. For example, you can gain high ground before your enemy if you finished your previous fights looting quicker. Being the aggressor, you're more likely to win if you start the fight rather than react to an enemy's push. If this video is helpful so far, then please consider subscribing, liking the video, and consider using code NHZ in the Fortnite item shop, as it is the best free way to support me. Tip number 5 is to disengage like a pro. Here's how most players disengage: panic builds, predictable side boxes, and elimination. Avoid this by disengaging with purpose. Don't build sideways if the enemy is in front. They'll predict it. Retreat backward or downward to create more distance, but backwards is usually better if the enemy is in front, and if the enemy is confronting you in this manner, then going down would be a better option. Learn from the pros. Watch how Peterbot swiftly creates cones and walls to cover his retreat. Tip number 6 is to use the bait edit trick. If someone is aggressively taking your wall, edit and immediately reset it. This trick baits them into shooting prematurely, often making them panic. Once they shoot, counter with a quick peek shot. Follow up by boxing them in to gain full control of the fight. This works even on high-level players because human reaction time isn't perfect no matter who it is. Tip number 7 is to master pre-firing. Pre-firing is criminally underused, yet it can give you free damage. Timing is key. Shoot just before your opponent opens their edit. This might sound obvious, and you might be thinking, but how? For that, practice using this map. Insert map code here. And no, higher ping isn't an excuse. Ping matters, but awareness and prediction matter more. Unless you get more than 100 ping, and if someone is thinking that they can never hit a pre-fire and are blaming it on something external and not internal, then the only response I have is, yeah, you're right. You'll never hit a pre-fire. Remember, what you think is what is, at least for you. Tip number 8 is to utilize window edits. More window edits are the most underrated edit in Fortnite. They offer way safer angles for peeking than any other edit. This is because of the smaller area from where you could get damaged and the many different variations of it that you could use. Window edits are also provide optimal piece control opportunities. Because of the small hole, you are able to place builds through and get shots through without much of your own visibility to your enemy. Practice window edits in Raiders Piece Control map or incorporate them into your free build sessions. These are good alternatives to the best way to practice them, which is to use them against other real players. But if you can't do that, then Raiders map is a sufficient alternative. Tip number number 9 is a controversial one, which is don't chase speed over efficiency. Fast mechanics look flashy, but efficiency wins fights. Some players spend hours practicing edits only to lose to slower, smarter players. Focus on precision over speed. Getting eliminated faster is worse than eliminating the enemy slower. Avoid showing off when you're being spectated. It's about winning, not impressing others. This is one of the reasons why I think many players have adopted such playstyles. But everyone is different. What do you think? Do players prioritize speed too much? Tip number 10 is to track players. Like a pro, winning fights often comes down to tracking your opponent's movements. And if you want to fight like the pros, then it is necessary to emulate the techniques that the pros use in your fights. Use sight, sound, and prediction to follow enemies. I would like to call this technique Kai. This term is for sure not copied from some super famous anime. Okay, maybe it is. Turn on visualize sound effects to get directional visual audio cues that are so helpful in adding to your awareness. Pros like Reet excel at piece control because of their player tracking skills. Just look at the following clip and focus on Reet's eyes.
130.
Jumping in.
Shit on.
Final thought, these tips only work if you apply them. Go into creative, practice these techniques, and start dominating your fights. And hey, if you found this video helpful, drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more tips. Also, consider using code NHSEED in the Fortnite item shop, as it is the best free way to help me out.